We are back. We are live.
We are live. Friday live show. Live.
Welcome back to Beyond the Diamond podcast.
I love when the beat drop. Yeah, our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah,
The
Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Christian Walker has
obliques. People joke about obliques. People have made fun of me. They post photos of me on the internet when I pulled an oblique.
Guys,
it's not fun.
Guys,
so I in solidarity, I'm also going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with Christian Walker because it looks like it's trending that way.
You ready for this one?
Yeah,
it's getting real oblique around here.
Wow. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Why everyone's here. Is there a Jeff Bagwell first base curse?
Wow. Is he like?
He wants
to make sure that no one ever tops his best year as a first baseman?
Is there a Horcrux that Jeff Bagwell has put at first base, and anyone that goes there now just gets zapped with monster powers?
Yeah.
Because, or maybe it's like a Yuli Gurriel curse where you like did Yuli dirty, so now he's like done that. So
Yuli was becoming like getting close to, top 3 first baseman in Astros history. He was kind of climbing those.
I think he is. 2-time champ?
I think he is, yeah.
He's got 2 more than someone else.
You counting Berkman in there? He's kind of half.
Nah. I mean, I think Yuli's the second best first baseman in Astros history.
Yeah. So I believe in the conspiracy theory that Bagwell.
But does Bagwell put a curse?
Making sure that nobody else
as Bagwell put a curse. That's what the streets are saying. So
it's a Yuli curse. We let go of Yuli, and
it could be. It's one or the other. But that's what I'm obviously really. It sucks when you spend $30 million a year on a guy, and he's not going to probably be on opening day. But look, I'd rather happen in March, April than September, October. So yeah. I think we'll see. Even if it's a clean bill of health of imaging. I mean, anytime you fly back to Houston, it's not good.
Yeah, they don't expect. You don't fly back to Houston and expect to keep playing spring training ball.
You're still a week and a half like before you can even get back into the swing of things in a game. So you're out 2 weeks. So he'll be fine on the long ski. I just think personally, I think he'll probably start on the IL. And then
are any worry about this being a recurring issue?
Happened last year. He was out a month last year.
It's the same thing. Like, is that
y'all made fun of me? Y'all made fun of me, but I've torn my Achilles, torn my knee up twice. When I pulled my oblique, that was the worst pain I think I've ever been in my entire life. It was just miserable, and I'm not a professional athlete, so
I mean, it's part of your core.
Yeah,
I mean, that's core.
And then everything else kind of like gets. Then you just worry. You got to strengthen your quads. You got to strengthen everything else. Like it's the whole body.
Yeah.
The haircut. Did you get a haircut?
I got a haircut. I guess since we last did a live show.
I didn't. I just don't have any product in today.
So I was last on camera. I guess it's been a bit.
Sweat the hat's on.
The bedhead.
But I think the Astros are in a good space and good spot with Singleton and DeZenzo playing the platoon role. Caratini can get spot starts. Dubon can get spot starts over there. You can get home for the first few weeks. But I mean, the reason why everyone's tuning in is Mr. Cam Smith.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at.
3 more hits last night.
And it's to all fields. Right field, center field, pulls one down the line, left field, almost gets Vientos in the face.
Real quick, Glenn Davis would Glenn Davis is a good.
Yeah, Glenn Davis is a good pull, but Glenn Davis does not have 2 championships. It's me being spoiled, but Glenn Davis is up there. I do think the Astros are in a good spot. Just the hold serve. It just sucks because you spent money on the guy and you want him to be there opening day and you want him to experience that just as a pro's pro. But I mean, it is what it is, and as long as he gets that playoff start and gets that experience, I'm happy about it.
I'm much worried about starts in October than I am in April.
Yeah, and I also think the Cam Smith discourse. We talked about it. I think for the very first time, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. and I'm going to just appreciate Cam Smith making this a hard decision and discussion. And there's a lot of people online that are like, "Who should be up?" And there are people like, "Who should be down?" And I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. And
I think in the long run of this season, it's all going to be good. Like for like whether he starts with the team or he comes up in May, like it's still going to be like way better than you were expecting maybe when they first traded for him.
1,000%. And I had a crush on the guy when he's at Florida State. He got drafted 14th overall. Like the guy's a real deal. Like his swing, he doesn't have the lift. We discussed this on the group chat. He reminds me a lot of Chris Bryant without the lift. His swing and his path is on plane the entire time. He has a creative finish like we talked about last episode, but a lot of Chris Bryant, maybe because Cam Smith is 6'3", 6'4", and Chris Bryant was 6'5", or is 6'5". I don't know if he shrunk, but
I've been trying. I watched his swing last night maybe 30 times, trying to think of there's a comp. It's in my head. I'm gonna find it.
There's
his follow through and the way his back leg moves. Like there's,
you know who it really is, and this is not even me. This is someone else that I'll leave nameless because they're in professional baseball. But they gave the comp of like a young, in shape Josh Bell. Like commands the zone, commands the box.
Yeah,
it's foot down. It's the swing and playing. The guy's an absolute stud. But I just think whatever happens, happens. And if he makes the big league squad, that's amazing. If it doesn't, and he's down in Sugarland or he's down in Corpus and plays his 60, 70 games and tears it up, then you can bring him up. So be it. But in a world where Astros seem to always get something right, and when the Astros' demise is being publicly said, a superstar emerges. And
could you imagine they get another rookie a year out of nowhere?
It's very hard for us as fans. It's so hard for us being fans because superstars just keep popping up, and guys that just roll out of bed and have a 2,000 OPS because he can just do that. It's crazy. But let's catch up a little bit on the comments. I just want to be stuck playing catch up with this core again like we were last year, but as your expectations of the season might be better, just enjoy the season this year from Blake Hindley. Blake, that's kind of where I'm at. What's up, Coach Mar? Coach Mar's the only reason why I played college ball. She literally just had my body together with ibuprofen, duct tape, and a lot of ice.
Love the medical staff.
I think this year I'm just appreciating the season. Like, for it is what it is, and I think this team is good enough to compete. And I think the one thing that just irritates me, and I'm kind of getting over it, I'm growing through it, is the expectations of the team and the language from up and down has shifted from we're competing for a World Series to let's win the West. And I don't like that at all. For the longest time in this decade of golden era run, the division was never the goal. The division was a byproduct of a bigger goal. And I think it just irritates me and rubs me the wrong way that perspective has shifted. And it's like, hey, we gotta, we're gonna do whatever it takes to win the West, right? And then whatever happens in the playoffs, which is fine. But when your decade-long rallying cry was like, no, we're gonna win the whole fucking thing, and the byproduct of winning the division is having your sights on a higher goal, it's tough for me to kind of get around that. But I'm getting there, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any reason why you should ever lower your standards.
Yeah,
because then you lower your standards, then you lower the bar.
Yeah, and then you go to sweating games of September, and you're just like, I
mean, if you end up there like you did last year, you roll with the punches and you still work your way through it. But like the goal should be a World Series every year. Talking about Singleton. I mean, I definitely think he's going to get run again. Looking at him last night, he looked like he's ready. Not like I'm expecting an 800 OPS season from him, but I think he's going to be ever consistent, working walks, 650 OPS type of contribution, and I'll take it.
And what he does at the plate, I mean, that guy has maybe the best eye on the team now that Bregman's gone. Like John Singleton has a killer baseball eye of knowing the strike zone.
Yeah.
The swing and misses there at times, but a lot of times he is really putting a stress on a pitcher when he's up to bat. Seeing him in this incredible shape, he's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be winning. He's gonna be getting a ton of reps over the next 2 weeks if he's the guy. So he's gonna be playing every day, get a ton of reps rolling into the season. I think that's kind of what you want as a ball player. Like, hey, I'm gonna be the opening day starter. One, that relief is gone. Like the pressure of the self pressure and that anxiety and all the human element side. I just now got to go out there and play. But two, of just like, hey, I'm the guy. Let me just go and play, and I'm gonna get all these reps in spring training. I can work on things. Every at bat's not like, hey, is this at bat gonna be or do or die if I'm on the big league squad? Now it's like, hey, I can work on things. I'm not stressing at the plate. You get to see people freed up a little bit, so I'm excited to see that. I don't think it's like last year at all with first base.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
My concerns aren't also there.
You have more versatile infielders all around. Yeah. Outside of Jeremy Pena, who's just playing shortstop, Paredes can play third, second, and first. And then you have Dubon, who can play any of the infield positions. And then I was going to ask you this: with this news of Walker's injury, has that raised the percentage for you at all? I think we were just joking around with it being like 5% that Cam Smith starts on the opening day roster. Did that go up to 6% with Walker's injury? Did it go up to 10%? Like, how much did that move the needle for you?
It's got to jump to 15, 20%.
That's where I'm at.
And I feel like that's high, but if we fast forward 10 days from now, 17th, and Cam Smith is batting 300 with an OPS of over 1,000. I get it. It's spring training, it's exhibition games. But if that's happening then,
I think
and you already had, and we're going to talk about in the second half, the foul territory guys were out at spring training, and Dana Brown once again unpromptly was like, hey, a lot of people are having Cam Smith conversations behind the scenes.
I think it's way more likely than some people are talking about. They're like, no way. I'm like, I think it's somewhere in the middle.
I'm enjoying the process because look, if he's down in the minors and we steal a year, of his prime, okay, that's part of the game. But if he's on the big league squad, he's gonna play and he's gonna play opening day. That's even better for the team. And I think that's a shot in the arm of the fan base, the excitement of opening day. There's obviously Daikin Park's going to sell out. We're going to have an event on opening day. We're going to have a great time. But you can't say the somberness or like, damn, no Breggy, no Tuck, no press, no JV. All of a sudden you're like, hey, fucking Cam Smith's playing.
Yeah, it would be a real boost to,
you know what I mean? The morale. Yeah, you get like, you've been on the front lines. You're getting a little day pass to Paris. You're getting out of the trenches, and you're like, hey, Cam Smith's playing ball tonight, dude. That's where we're going. So, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for that opportunity. And I mean, Cam Smith's been carrying himself like a true pros pro, man. Like he's killing it in the interviews. Yeah, he's
I think a lot of that is lost in this conversation where us or whoever's talking about the potential of Cam Smith making the open day roster. When we talk about that, we're obviously, I feel like it goes unsaid, but some people aren't really getting it. He's going to have to perform it's not a decision now. It's one of those things where it's like, as we get through spring training, it's usually that not the last week, but the second to last week is when you start seeing more starters, more major league starters, more aces that are giving 80%, getting as they're gearing up. He's going to have to go through that gauntlet, and you better bet that they're going to start him and probably high up in the lineup anytime that they're facing a major league all-star pitcher.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to go through that gauntlet. And if he makes it through that gauntlet, like you said, with an OPS over 1,000, and still hitting well, still working walks. If he shows that, imagine they face, well, they're not going to face DeGrom, but imagine they face who's trying to think of a pitcher for the Nationals or anybody.
Well, I think if you pair up against Senga with the Mets and Port St. Lucie, you pair up
those guys, some of those like top 20 pitchers in baseball. If he faces some of them and continues to show that he still has a good eye, he's seeing the ball well, he's not looking overmatched, then that makes you that kind of one at bat against Senga can bring his percentage up like 20%.
Yeah, and I think you'll see him, and I think the leading indicator is going to be this for if he's on the big league squad or not. If him and Paredes are in the same lineup and Paredes is not third base.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting. With this Walker going down, I think Paredes is going to get some starts at first at spring training.
And run at second, I think, as well. And I think, and this is where I'm at. I tweeted about it over on the account. I personally, if Cam Smith is the guy and he's going to be up this year, he's got to play. One, you're not bringing him up to ride the bench. But two, I don't want his first innings and first games in the show playing a position he's never played in right field. He's playing third base. He needs to play third base. You'll shift Paredes around, so be it. But you cannot run an outfield of Altuve and Smith in the corners getting their first run, and both of them getting their first run in the show at the same time. That is too much pressure on Jake Myers. That's too much pressure on Chas McCormick. That is too much pressure on Jason Bell and Dave Clark and the entire team to navigate that margin. Now, if Walker's back, Paredes, and you're like, hey, we got to play this kid, and then so be it. Okay, that's the hand that's dealt. That's a good problem. That's a good problem. Yeah. But if Walker's out and you keep Paredes at third and you're just throwing the kid out to right field for the Sharks, it's a tough pill for me to swallow. But I don't know. The fact that he's even forcing this conversation is great. I think it's great for the brain trust of the Astros, who obviously I said it on last pod that Paredes was great in the deal, Wesneski was great in the deal, but the crown jewel of that trade was Cam Smith of the Tucker deal. So to see it already paying dividends in a point of you're having conversation in camp, that's huge because we see it time and time again across the league that prospects don't make it. They flame out. Trades are centered around these guys, and they don't even sniff big league camp like this. They don't even sniff the show or conversation like this. And yes, I know it's the system's down, whatever, but being able to hit on the crown jewel up to this point is huge. And I think that conversation being had is healthy. And I think it really gives a shot in the arm to the fan base because it seems like they're rallying around this kid. I love it. And if he's hitting the ball 108 miles an hour, you can't teach that. So
no, I mean, speaking of high exit velo, you see that rip off of Brendan Rodgers' bat last night too.
Brendan Rodgers put a flag in the game of risk yesterday of how he played.
I mean, defensively, offensively, he looked like he's ready to make the opening day roster at second base. He wants that position.
The backhand dive.
Oh my god.
Glove flip.
Oh, so I'll take. Oh my god.
I needed new pants. It was so silky.
Having elite up the middle defense again.
Oh man, Pepper needs new shorts.
I just ascended for
the backhand. I mean, the backhand plays crazy. The wherewithal to have the hands, and then Guillorme as well on the Soto ball up the middle, insane hands. But Brendan Rodgers is starting to make this conversation at second base a real thing. He has a talent. I think the pedigree just needs to all come together and it'd be such a Houston Astros thing if he comes here and is like a 700, 720 OPS guy.
Yeah.
Like it would be the most Astros way. Like if that happens, I truly believe the baseball gods have chosen Jose Altuve. Like because every single step, single step from the Astros it was the baseball gods hate the cheating scandal, but then another World Series, another World Series, another World Series, another World Series. Like the baseball gods seem to be on Jose Altuve's side.
I think y'all know the baseball guys like you think.
Yeah, and so now if like all of a sudden the Astros down year, everything kind of comes together with all these. I mean, you gotta think Jose Altuve is the chosen one. So, Blake over on IG said, random question: chances of Forrest Whitley on the opening day roster, and if so, we're looking at bullpen role.
Absolutely,
Forrest Whitley is 100% making the team. And I'm gonna say he's gonna be the. You want the take? Forrest Whitley will be the 7th inning guy.
Really?
3 months in the season, I think. And this is not. This is not
6th inning. Maybe
this is not financial advice. I have a boatload of Forrest Whitley stock that's just parked and underwater. So I need this.
Find a single prop bet with Forrest Whitley in it.
I'll that dog will hunt if I find it. I am so bullish on him, and you can actually take this clip and find every single podcast for the last 5 years of me saying this. It is Forrest Whitley's year, and I'm excited.
What does a good year look like for you for Forrest Whitley?
3-2.
Okay.
70 innings.
Damn,
that's a lot of innings.
I mean,
70 innings.
Yeah.
101 strikeouts.
Oh no, sir.
100 plus strikeouts. Forrest Whitley.
Way more than
100 plus strikeouts. Forrest Whitley. With 7, that's averaging 1 an inning, 1.5 an inning. That's 1.5 an inning over 70. It's pretty. That's pretty elite.
What is that? 13.
That's pretty. That's like a 13K9. Yeah. Okay.
Nasty.
I have maybe this is just water in here.
Are we sure? Sure you got some zing zang?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, it is beautiful zing zang. Let's say 85 strikeouts. 70 innings, 85
70 innings
strikeouts.
a lot. I was thinking more like 55, but I definitely think he's going to be a like he mostly has been. It's a strikeout or bust type of situation. I like it though. 7th innings a stretch. I was thinking 6th, but then looking and thinking through the bullpen, it's really going to be between like him and Taylor Scott.
Him, Scott, Ort, King. And we've got no update. Have we got any update? Anyone in chat know any updates on Ort?
I haven't heard a thing.
We haven't heard a thing since his oblique, right? And that was 2 weeks ago. Ethan over on YouTube, Paredes has a great eye. Yeah, he's a menace in the plate. Like, absolute. I'm going to foul every single ball off until I get a pitch. Pinas, yeah, there's some competition this spring. Look, I am the biggest proponent of competition breeds success. Like,
I love. Did you see what the time drill that Espada was doing?
Yeah,
I love that shit.
I did not like Guillerme's. He had the best time, but that was just
no Guillerme.
I mean, Paredes was like, even though he had the fastest time,
way off the plate.
Oh my god, that was just a bull in a China cabinet.
They're reviewing that, but I think he was off on both.
Yeah, but it was. I like seeing that.
But you know what? I'll love an Astro that's willing to cheat the win. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly. What it is kind of funny that the years we have been going to spring training, it's like the 26-man roster's been
there's
like dialed in, and the year we don't go, it's like a full competition where like
there's
so much going, and we're just like
talk about.
We didn't get a sponsor to go.
Like we get to see Cam Smith, and like all these new Astros.
Absolute blunder on our end. Absolute blunder on our end. If they win the World Series this year, does this extend the golden era? Does that end it at last year's wild card?
I love that question. I meant to bring that up. I think it starts a new era. I don't think this is the golden era extending. I think this is
I think it's
new era.
volume 3. I think you had volume 1 to 17 to 20, 20 to 24.
Okay.
Is volume 2, and now you're going. And
the golden era is a saga.
It's a saga. It's an epic.
It's an epic. I like the Odyssey.
Yeah, and we're just kind of lost at sea right now. But saying that, saying that, this is where I'm at. You have to do everything to maximize winning these next 4 years with Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez together. You have a generational talent, and you have the face of the franchise that are on very, very team-friendly deals, and you have money freeing up, and you have some young guys coming up. You're going to have to spend a lot more to this is the biggest thing. You're going to have to spend Crane Trust. You're going to have to keep spending. And you have to do everything before Jordan comes up on that contract. So, saying that, I am so bullish on this year's pitching staff. I just keep I don't know if it's what's the thing? What's the syndrome where you're like fall in love with your kidnapper?
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm just keep staring at this starting rotation, but I'm just so bullish on it. But man, you have all these. I think Van Way is probably going to be in the bullpen. He's been killing it. Gusto looked good against. I mean, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso.
He looked pretty good. Is it Gusto or Gusto?
One of those.
Uh-huh.
But I think he went through the lineup twice.
He definitely faced, Soto and Lindor twice.
Yeah,
he faced the top of the lineup. No, because Alonso was his last at bat because it was a long.
Yeah, it was.
One of those. So he went through the order once and then the top three.
Brady's gonna hit bombs and go to Taqueria del Sol after he wins ALCS MVP. Yeah, we're gonna have to lock in on Paredes and the food cuisine in Houston. Respectfully,
Brandon's asking about Luis Ariz. I'm not the biggest Luis Ariz fan, but if you could get him, I think he's gonna be more expensive than he would be worth to your club.
Luis Ariz was born a decade late. Like if he's in the 90s and early 2000s, he's a Hall of Famer. Like just every front office just seems to like, oh man, we're tired of your 300 singles and 360 batting average and OPS of 700. It's just like he gets on base. Who cares?
That's my thing. He's really good.
He's in the wrong era.
Yeah,
he's just in the wrong era.
He has value, but I just think his cost is going to be more than what the value is. Kush talking about Hunter Brown Cy Young season. We've been saying it, and did you see that if he finishes, we get an extra pick. If he gets top three Cy Young votes, the Astros get an extra pick. Oh, I would.
I wish there was a separate bet for top three voting, but I'll be damned if I don't sprinkle that.
Let's start talking about these interviews with Foul Territory because I want to get into this.
Yeah, they did some great content.
Speaking of pitching, young pitching, I want to speak on what the hell Eric Getty's working on in the lab.
Yeah, in case anyone didn't see it, I'm gonna pull it up.
So he was basically like, he was very secretive about a pitch he's working on and the TrackMan data on it and everything. And he said, I forget the phrasing. It was like a pitch nobody's ever seen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you meant
Brandon, to answer your question, it's an extra comp pick at the end of the first round. So that 1A, 1B section where like you get
like
those
somewhere between like 33 and 60 or however.
So you'd get two top 50 picks essentially.
Yeah. Which is that's where they got Lance. Right?
Yeah.
That's where they got Lance originally comp pick.
Imagine that. The more picks you have in the top 50, more MLB players.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy how that works. Especially when you have a good scouting department and a good drafter.
What a crazy concept.
Yeah. It literally, like Hunter Brown finishes top 3 Cy Young. That could get us another top 3 Cy Young pitcher in the future. Like, that's how big of a difference it could make.
Woo!
Anyway, Eric Getty, he's working on a pitch nobody's ever seen. And I don't know if that means he said it towards the end. He kind of was like, at least from me. And so I'm like, okay, is this just some sort of other thing? Or is he talking about he invented a whole new pitch?
I just retweeted the Foul Territory tweet. So if you go to @ApolloDes1, you'll see it. Spencer Getty plans on featuring a new pitch that nobody's ever seen this season. Him and AJ Przinsky sat down. And I really liked the conversation because he also talked about through his maturation and process last year as a rookie. He said, I think sometimes I had a tendency to try to impress too often, where he was trying to impress in his bullpen. He was trying to impress in the lab work. He was trying to do all these different things. And then he said he had a 10 strikeout day against Colorado late in the season. And he fell in love with the process of like, hey, I'm just going to take this week and prepare for the actual start. Not worried about my bullpen, not worried about this. So he was talking about like, hey, I went through my bullpen, my flat ground, and, I got to the point where I felt good and I shut it down. Like he started carrying himself like a vet. And I think that's kind of the secret sauce of Houston. This, we talk about it, the culture. But what you've been able to learn from Dallas Keuchel to Charlie Morton to Garrett Cole to Justin Verlander, these young guys have had, even Framber Valdez, Neris, Presley, everyone, right? You've been able to create this culture of winning, but too, this culture of greatness, of competition. You don't think when you're watching Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander throw pins and discuss topics and game plans, and you don't think that carries a lot, or you see when Justin Verlander again in 22 and Framber and Presley and everything else, like you have this switch of like, hey, I have to keep this going, and it's probably not healthy, but these guys are wired so differently that all you see is this continued success. And so I think Spencer really nailed it in that conversation with Przinsky. This is also crazy. Dave Clark and Jeremy Pena have a bet.
I was about to talk about that, yeah.
And I think we need to collectively bet this. Jeremy Pena owes Dave Clark a car if he doesn't steal 50 bags this year. Jeremy Pena's going to swipe 50 bags this year.
Last year, it was in the 20s.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Like 26.
We're about to live in a world where Jeremy Pena is just going to go wild on the bases.
His game, if he becomes a 280 hitter
and swipes 50,
swiping 50 bags and hitting like 10 bombs, like that's okay with me. I'll take that from my shortstop.
He has career 44 stolen bases in the show.
He
scored 20 last year.
That's a huge jump. But he's fast. He just, I guess, is working on his reads of pitchers and how to take a good jump.
That excites me.
Somebody asked who would probably come off the 40-man if Holly asked who would come off the 40-man if Cam made the opening day roster. I would think
Corona.
Probably Corona, Leon.
I need people smarter than me to talk about the Corona stuff.
Kennedy Corona, maybe. I think it's probably going to be a pitcher. We have like a lot of pitchers on here that
MLB.
Maybe a I don't know.
Jeremy Pena real quick.
Most likely be a Corona or a Taylor Trammell.
The only prize pick prop that's up for Jeremy Pena is 14.5 home runs.
Oh. That's a good line, too.
Yeah, it's a very good line.
That's a tough line.
It's a tough line. Yeah, I don't know who Cam would be. Jay, over on Twitter, I think volume 1 has to be 2015 to 2019. Yeah, okay. I agree. I like that. With volume 2 is 20 to 24, and then volume 3 is now 25 to 30. It's kind of where I'm at.
Interesting. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before we keep on with the foul territory stuff. How many Astros hit over 20 home runs this season?
Yainer Diaz, Christian Walker, Isaac Paredes, left fielder Jose Altuve, DH Jordan Alvarez. Does the platoon count as a position?
No, it has to be a player.
5.
Just those 5?
Jeremy, I don't know. If Jeremy gets to 20, then we're cooking with gas. Chaz obviously has 20 in his bag before. Jake's not going to.
I think Chaz gets to 20. I think he's your 6th guy.
I'm at 5. So I think over under 5.5 is the line.
Yeah. I don't know. I sneakily, I don't think Altuve gets there.
You don't think he can get there?
I don't know. I just think he has a little bit of a down year. But over how many players get over 30?
Paredes, Diaz.
Diaz gets over 30?
I talked to someone very, very smart in baseball yesterday, and the way they talked about Yainer Diaz has me fired up. I think Yainer Diaz is an all-star starter.
Yeah, I called him
30 home runs, 100 RBIs, an OPS over 850. Dang. I think
he wins the catching Silver Slugger, you think?
Yes, over Adley. I think the discussion of Yonder Diaz should be what everyone talks about Adley Rutschman. That's how.
Yeah. No, I mean he's mostly outperformed him. He's been up and down in competition with him since he came up. But everybody talks about Adley like he's got the.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Adley's.
I love Adley, but I think you're right. I think the Astros have 4 guys hit over 30 home runs. You have Yordan, Diaz, Paredes, and Walker.
Okay.
That's crazy if that happens.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
When's the last time the Astros had 4 guys hit over 30?
19? Had to be 2019.
Was it 19? I mean,
Juice Ball year. Springer, Correa, Altuve, Bregman.
I don't think Correa hit over 30.
2019 Astros.
It was Bregman, Springer. That was
got it right here. No, I got it right here. Gurriel in 2019 at 31 home runs.
Did he really?
Jose Altuve, 31 home runs.
Holy shit.
Alex Bregman, 41 home runs. Yordan Alvarez in 369 plate appearances, 27.
How many did Springer have?
George Springer, 39 home runs.
So they had 4.
They had 4. You have to include Yordan. You have to include. I mean, he had 300 less at bats and 27 home runs.
I mean, I think this year is the closest to the 2019 offense that we're gonna get.
Juice Ball year? That's a crazy take. Okay,
it's close. I'm not saying we're gonna get on that level, but at least the top of the lineup is gonna be closest.
You want to hear something crazy? God, Yuli Gurriel, OPS 884. Jose Altuve 903 OPS. Carlos Correa 926 OPS. Alex Bregman 1015 OPS. Michael Brantley 875 OPS.
Michael Brantley, dude.
Jake Marisnick 700 OPS. Yordan Alvarez in 87 games 1067 OPS. George Springer 974 OPS. Oh yeah, also Aletmus Diaz with 300 plate appearances at 823 OPS.
We did not.
We just hit the shit out of the ball.
Believe.
Juice balls were the best, man. Bring those back.
What we had that year. That's crazy.
I love the juice balls so much.
Having 4 guys over 900 OPS.
Let's look at the 22
Astros.
Just
bonkers.
Because people forget that
we're falling down a rabbit hole now.
Yeah, I know. I just want to look at OPS. Okay, the 22 team. They had 2 guys over 30 home runs, Tucker and Yordan. Tucker had 30. Yordan had 37. Altuve 28. Pena 22. Bregman 23. I'm telling you, man. All you got to do is get this offense hot at the right time and let this pitching staff just go eat. Just absolutely go eat.
Like, the more we talk about this team, it's the most volatile I felt, where like they could win 70 games or they could win 105. Like, I'm like
the spread is it is a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
Spread buckshot, and you're just hoping it's somewhere center mass.
Yeah, somewhere in like 88, 89, I'll take.
Because we're so used to like 3 clicks from 5 miles out. Kill shot. Like that's how the Astros have been. Now we're just like fucking spraying and praying, dude. But it's fun. It's fun.
We're used to the beginning of the action movie where you're dialed in. But this is the end.
This is like Rambo 10. Like
you've been running for a while. You're out of a lot of your ammo. You're down to 1 shotgun on your back.
You got a bayonet, dude.
They're still chasing you. And you're just like, fuck.
Oh, it's you know what it is? It's when you're playing zombies at 3 a.m. with your buddies in college, and you're just like running around with your like sleep deprived, but you're finally at like the furthest level you've been. You're just like, oh my god, I just need this game to end.
Jesus,
that was a crazy segue. We got from the 2019 Astros to zombies in your dorm room.
That's how things go. Let's get back to foul territory. He was talking with
he talked with Dana, and he also talked with Skip.
Joe, yeah. I thought it was some interesting stuff about how Joe, Alex, and AJ had a group text talking about Bregman the whole time.
Just guys being dudes.
Random thing about Nolan, him asking if he had talked to Nolan, and then Skip, I think it was just a misspoke, but he was like the impact he will have on our team and stuff like that.
I did, weird. Yeah.
I think he was just misspoke him to say,
but yeah.
Do you think any of that heated back up with the Walker injury? Do you think there's some
That's a good question.
Some reinforcements you want to get just in case this is a nagging thing that is all year?
I mean, putting my cards all on the table, I haven't heard anything. The last thing I heard from someone was they may circle back in on the way to the deadline, and to see what the price is.
I think that's more realistic.
But I don't know. I don't understand the infatuation with Nolan Arenado in the year 2025. But if the lab and the powers that be see something that we don't, and I think they think he's fully healthy, the back is good, and then it seems that they've been pretty headstrong with trying to make this move. But how many times can he keep being rejected? You keep asking out the prom queen, and she keeps saying no. I know shoot or shoot, but it's publicly I think the deal.
I mean, that's pretty much set, right? The Cardinals are happy. It's just a matter of convincing Nolan at this point.
Yeah, but I think the further you get close to the deadline, the price changes. I'll be like, okay, I'm good with the arms that we were going to send.
Yeah, it also depends on how the Astros team changes. If you get to the deadline and Cam Smith is playing like a dog, then just why would we need Arenado right now?
Well, also, I think the other side.
I agree, Discog.
How do I say this? I think it's very clear that the brain trust and the powers that be think they're a bat short, but I don't think they're pigeonholed in the sense to we need to do whatever it takes to get this bat. I think they're totally okay to roll with this team and the squad and the depth and roll with it and go. But it does feel like there's an indicator of saying we feel like maybe not a full bat short, but a half a bat short. And is that?
I think there's 10 home runs and 30 RBIs
that they're trying to
in the aggregate.
Yeah,
they need to find.
When it points at you, talk. I think, it just seems that conversation has reluctantly died down. I'm not a fan of what that move would have been. I like keeping pieces and I like keeping arms, but I don't know. We'll see. I think this is one of the first we're operating below the tax. We've seen time and time again Jim at the deadline go over it. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me talked myself into the piece of this season. I mean, if we start out 7-19 again, obviously that's gonna change my perspective and my mood on this show. But I think it's gonna be this gonna be a clip where I'm just like, oh, I'm so positive, and then it's gonna be the grind of August. I'm like, why did I even say that out loud? But I don't know. There's just this sense of peace. I don't know. It's weird. Predictions for Gamble. Still think he's going to be a dog. Him and Rogers are going to be low key. Great additions from Marvin. I've wrote so much fan fiction about Gamble and winning the ALCS MVP. I'm totally bought in. He's so good. He's so good. He's my favorite. I just
that infatuation.
Oh, dude,
OPS outfielder.
Just I will be talking about Ben Gamble in the bars for the rest of my life, and it'd be like you look him on Baseball Reference at that point and be like, dude, you had 10 at bats. I'm like, you should have seen those 10 at bats. You had to be there for those 10 at. You know the meme where he's like, Dad, what was it like talking about Ben Gamble? He's like, this will be me.
One last thing on the foul territory bit that I thought was interesting. When talking about the Ryan Presley trade, Dana was talking about
not a price not a dump. Not a dump salary.
He was talking about how they see Juan Bello as a future starter.
That was very
unique. He was 1-for-1 with Ronel Garcia on identifying
Blanco.
Yeah, what
you combine Ronel and Garcia, Luis Garcia and Ronel Blanco. You made a love child.
Ronel Blanco. He's 1-for-1 on him, hitting with him. Kind of taking that bullpen arm and thinking of him as a starter. So that's interesting. I thought that was curious.
I mean,
that was only in like Double-A or something.
100%. 100% a salary dump. But
yeah, no, I mean he's not going to.
Yeah, he can't say that.
I say wait and see who is available later. I don't like that he turned us down the first time. Candidly, Connie. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree. Connie twice publicly turned us down twice.
I don't think it's something that is such a need right now. Now, if you get into May and you're very clearly one infield bat short, then it's like you can try and make something happen. But I think they'll be able to piece it together for now.
Yes. Also, does the flare up of the oblique for Christian scare you internally of the back of Nolan Arenado? Both 34.
Yeah, you're
both had injuries last year.
One old guy for
that's that's where I've been like the process just seems fucking ass backwards sometimes. And
yeah, why are we not targeting anybody under the age of 30 like for a trade? Like I know it's a matter of what you can afford, but like
it's just I don't know. So that's why the infatuation for Nolan it just has me bewildered. But I don't know. That's why you get paid a lot of money to make the decisions we get to talk about. But
yeah,
I feel like at this point of spring training, I think the Astros are 7-5. I think the Astros are in a good spot. I think first base is healthy, even with Christian Walker probably going to start on the season on the IL. I full trust and faith in John starting every single game if he had to. If you had to roll out Dezenzo or Carantino, really whoever it is. Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest winner of all of it, and I know we talked about Cam Smith, but I think Dezenzo gets a roster spot now. I think he's for sure. He played. No, he's first and corner outfield guy. But I think that's a guy.
Now Tuve can play second. And
and
like he has a versatile.
So,
spot.
Like what I've seen out of Rogers, obviously the Gamble fan fiction.
So this is a fun spring training. I'm like watching the games actually like this guy's at bat can affect him making the roster rather than just like, oh, this is just a minor league guy that has no chance.
I watched the 8th inning yesterday.
I did.
Like legitimately, I was reading my book and then I look up. I was like, shit, it's the 8th inning of a spring training game. I'm still locked in.
Nice.
I did like seeing the Hader versus Soto matchup.
I did too. Yeah.
Hader was working on some things, and people I know were worried on the internet, but
I mean, Edwin Diaz came in and gave up like 2 runs. He got
3
out. 3 runs.
He jumped on his ass. Melton had a nice shot. And that's another guy that obviously has already been reassigned to minor league camp, but getting some big league time. But anytime he gets some big league run is good. But yeah, I think this is the first time in a long time that the competition in spring training is healthy for the floor of the team. Obviously, I think it's going to be a race in the West. I think the Rangers probably have to feel really good where they are with just health. The young guys they've already developed and they're down year last year. I think the Mariners are still just kind of hoping that Randy Rosarena and Julio Rodriguez carries them. There's a lot of hope on that team because obviously the staff is the best in baseball, but you see Justin Turner's comments?
Mm-mm.
Ooh. Please hold.
I forgot they picked him up.
And then I think Oakland or Sacramento is going to be a thorn in the sides for a lot of teams this year. So this was with Justin Turner. I'm thinking about re-signing with the Mariners. I told them several times this offseason, you have a unicorn of a pitching staff. This might be the best 5 starting pitchers in the history of the game. There's never going to be a better time in the history of that franchise that added a couple bats to make a run this year, and they missed it.
Yep.
If I was the only piece they brought back in, I would be saying the same thing. What the hell are we doing? Are you even trying?
Damn. I mean, it's real.
Oh, the whole internet's been saying it.
Yeah.
They have a
what they need.
Historical starting 5 pitching. And they've done nothing time and time again. But
it's not like they need a Soto. Like they need like 2 or 3 like above average bats and I would be actually worried about them.
Do you want to hear the most optimal decision they should have done? They should have got 2 Boris clients, and they should have got Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso.
Yeah, I mean they would have been set with that. You have that. You have Randy. You have Julio. Like that's a good looking offense.
And you have money. It's just whatever.
Yeah,
so I think. I mean, obviously you have to with just the pitching. You have to be worried about Seattle's staff just in a 3 or 4 game, and they're gonna hold the offense, to 1 or 2 runs starting wise in 6 or 7.
It just puts everything on the weight of their few good hitters,
and they've been feeling it and that pressure So,
but coming up on time.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add for today before we talk to them next week?
No. No. I don't think there's anything.
It's just keep watching spring training ball, and we'll keep discussing this competition. I think every week when we come here on these live shows every Friday, I feel like the conversation is going to be totally different.
Yeah,
it's going to be like every week we're going to be talking about a different hitter that's like showing up and like making his case, and then you come back the next week and you're like, he kind of fell off again. Now he stepped up. Like it's going to be a fun competition.
Let's do next week. Let's open up the lines to voicemail. We'll do like a voicemail mailbox question episode.
Tomorrow live? If we can.
Yeah, we'll do next Friday live.
Yeah,
next Friday live show. We'll open up the line for all next week to get your questions in. And we'll just do a mailbag episode that way. And last question that came in over on YouTube. Or Brandon over on IG said, I wish they broadcast more games. Yeah, no freaking wish, man. It's crazy they're not.
If only somebody had paid us to go there.
Yeah. I'll just be back there with my phone. Are we getting day game streams? There's going to be a lot more day game streams this year. A lot. Probably one a week at least. That's the goal internally. So it'll be a lot. A lot of twos and chats.
Road weekday.
Road day.
We'll pretty
gaming.
much try and plan one for every weekday road day game.
Yeah. Day games at the juice box
times a month.
will be the Crawford boys will be there. So other than that, thank you to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. It is the weekend college basketball conference tournaments are kicking off. March Madness is right around the corner. So head over to Big City Wings, watch some ball, watch some Stros over there. Get the gridiron special. Last time we went, both got burgers, but the new crawdad wings, they also serving crawfish at a very, 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 very economically friendly price per pound. So go over there, get you some crawfish, and then you can wash it down with some Zing Zang. You zing, we zang. The Bloody Mary mix comes pre-made with vodka. You can get it at HEB, specs, everything in between. So shout out to
those on day game.
You have it, morning day game, a little Bloody Mary, blazing Bloody Mary. So shout out to Zing Zang and Big City Wings, our favorite people on the planet. Nothing we do here can be done without them. So make sure you guys go support them. Thank you for supporting us. Like, subscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we will see you tomorrow night. No, Tuesday. Next episode.
Yep.
Okay.
Next episode on Tuesday. Thank you for watching and listening to Beyond the Diamond podcast.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys.
Go Stros.
Watch baseball.